lights and here. There you go.
Where's your camera? You're way over.
I'm way over now. That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah,
I can move you back the other way.
I'm way over.
Yeah, but I can't reach you.
I know. This is good. Let's get out of here. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It's the penultimate day of October.
I hate the penultimate.
Halloween. Something.
It's All Hallows Eve.
It is All Hallows Eve.
Yes, I knew it was.
Boo!
Yeah.
Little P came out, no doubt.
Are
we doing anything for the show tomorrow? Is there going to be any?
Obviously we do something every year.
Right.
Every year.
Because last year,
big day. You love Halloween.
You were great.
We try to support you.
You were into it, and we had a great show. I think we just.
I don't remember the show. I just remember that.
It was great.
I dressed up, and no one else did.
What? I was wearing clothes.
I was absolutely dressed up.
All right. Well, whatever.
Go to the archives. Do we have archives?
Jack,
open the archives.
Roll the October 31st show from last year.
We're archiving today.
Yeah.
Just replay it, actually. Let's get out of here.
Do we have an archivist on a librarian?
An archivist?
Yeah.
Arborist?
Arborists are done. They're finished across the street.
Are they done?
Yeah,
What
it's
a
anarchist.
job they did.
Well,
Just a bit, yeah.
there's some things we got Jamie McLennan, I believe, coming up. I haven't touched base with him, but I'm sure he's very dependable.
That's
He'll
Wednesday.
pop in.
Yeah.
He'll pop in.
There we
Sens had a big W last night. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
They blew the doors off St. Lou. 8-1.
That Binnington. Old likes to fight guy was getting into it last. I'm worried about you. He nearly dumped his coffee all over your
Maybe the lake was too cold today.
your whatever you call that thing. Your notebook, your
binder.
Notebook.
your binder, your
Hello.
portfolio.
I want to see the
Why do
lines
you
from.
write on that?
Well,
Like
I got-
I was going to bring it up yesterday.
Okay.
This
This is the Pinder Report here. This is the.
is interesting for people.
All right. I'm not going to be able to see shite, but.
It's terrible.
Utah's lines and pairs, because I know you've already got that memorized. I have to write it down. Flames lines and pairs.
Your brain,
I've got some Backlund notes.
like
I've got my 2 bets of the day. Have you got your bets into,
it's
Jack?
like a muscle.
And then the Pinder Report.
It's a muscle. You have to use it to keep it.
Can you
or help it
name
grow.
3 members of the HC?
Of
The hockey club.
Top 5?
I'm not
Top 5. Rhett's top 5 today. Top 5
Top
HC
5
players.
Utah.
No, this is,
Hamolka.
Yeah, the Caramel Venti Mocha. He's the goaltender, 1 of 2 there.
There's that high scoring Dylan
Gunther.
Gunther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Gunther.
Famously tied into that deal we love, OEL.
It's 2.
Yeah, that's 2. You watched them play last year, even though you weren't in Utah.
I know, but there's
Most of the
watch
same
them?
guys. Well, you were
beers.
there.
piled up with Hordichuk.
You had these torso-sized Tecates going. You might not have remembered anything.
I had the tight shirt on too. That shirt
Did you?
was
Yeah.
too tight to took away. Couldn't remember.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I got 21
now,
free if you need.
is part of that for memory? Like it's obviously then you have it in front of you and you can see. But I know for me, I have to either type it out or write it out.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And then some of it gets absorbed.
You know what? It all comes from being a play-by-play guy. Like all different colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing play-by-play, you want access to information as quick as you can. So you don't have to hunt through a piece of paper. You can just glance at it.
Can you walk us through your top 5 pen colors, Ryan?
Okay, blues are standard.
Okay.
I've got an extra fine black.
Right.
So if something needs to be small, I want to add a note. There's not a lot of room. You can still get in there without it just being a pool of ink.
Number 3.
Red, we're gonna like things of note, or just Flames versus a different organization color-wise.
Yep.
So I can glance and yeah.
All right. Red, number 3.
Here.
Number
But
2.
you're not doing color.
Well, I've done blue, black, red, and a green that's my 4th.
Gotcha.
But I got 2 blacks. Got the regular black and the extra fine black.
Okay. It's still 5. I see 5 pens there.
That's right.
So there you go. That's
Top 5.
Ryan's top 5. Pretty good.
More pens than Rhett knows HC players.
Yep.
But it was close.
That's right. Well, I guess a few things.
Okay.
For starters, game day, get your helmet on.
Oh, definitely.
Flames in Utah.
Can't wait.
Clayton Keller.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See, you'll be at 20 by the end of the day. It's just, it's that recall.
What about that guy who used to play here?
Yeah. A couple of them.
We were all hot and bothered.
Waivers, you got all mad at the GM.
Cole Schwint?
No.
Close. That was last game. You can't be losing first rounders on waivers like this. Well, Daryl wasn't going to play. No, but it's the GM's job.
Valimaki.
There you go.
Valimaki. Although he's nicked up, or is he in spare right now?
Sure.
He wasn't in their top 6, and then they went and added a guy yesterday in trade.
They did.
I could look at your notes.
That's right. That's why they're here.
Bertuzzo.
Bob Bortuzzo.
Is Bob?
Bob's got a job in the league, probably only because of injuries, but yeah, he's there.
Well, I'm excited now.
Ian
I
Cole.
wasn't before.
It's a BS lineup, that, eh? Oof, gross.
I think we might have a competitive game tonight. That's how BS is.
Competitive or close?
Yeah, same thing.
Because competitive would mean there's some
Not competing for the cup, but competing for a
No,
win.
I think competitive because I
do
still
too.
think that I could be wrong because I've not gone, but I would still think that the barn is fairly lively.
I think it's going to be absolutely that. And I think the Flames, it's kind of had some leaders saying 2 nights ago, that's not up to our standard. You okay there?
Like a minty.
He's not happy with his coffee. He
they
nearly
do half
dumped
and
it
half?
on your notebook and then just about knocked it again. Walk us through what you're dealing with right now. What's happening?
Do you ever have like an odd flavor? Like I'm halfway through my cup of Joe and like a minty. Am I going down?
No.
Smell burnt
Nope,
toast?
you're good. Although I was wondering yesterday, you weren't here. I thought maybe you're out burning ballots or something.
Oh, yeah. Busy time
I'm
here.
stomping on the campaign trail.
Hanging Chad.
Yeah.
Chad. Delete it.
Out there stumping on the old campaign trail.
Jesus. What a disaster that is.
Oh,
I can't wait for next week. I can't wait.
Don't we have to do something?
Yes.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
a thing
God.
that night.
But it just adds to the fun.
I guess.
Yeah, it
fun.
just adds to
That's
it.
the word.
Yeah, man.
So we're going to get drunk and talk politics.
Yeah. Worked well at Origin the other day.
Pass.
Yeah, talk some religion, talk some politics. That's what you want to get into when you've had a few. But yeah, let's get into it. It's our opening statements today for our good friends over at McLeod Law, Peter Klein, Shane King, our buddy Austin, everybody over there, great people. And I'm trying to remember what it was. Somebody had sent me a note that said that they needed a lawyer.
Ah,
It's like, yeah, it was
we got guys.
just because of your dumb show. The only place I don't have a lawyer on McLeod Law. Easy
yeah.
peasy. I'm
Good.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
not
what-
hard.
It's what this whole thing is about. They're great at what they do. We talk. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Personal injury, whatever the legal issue is, big or small, you contact McLeod Law and let them go to work for you. We'll get to our guest in a moment. He's early. Must be chomping at the
Gung
bit.
ho.
Similarities between the two hockey clubs tonight.
Hot starts.
Calgary Flames 4-0 to start.
Mm-hmm.
1-3-1 since.
5-0 to start.
The Utahs 3-0 start, 1-4-2 since. So all hot and bothered.
It's early.
Everyone needs a win.
And then
Both teams desperate for wins.
sputtering. Which reminds me, we'll talk about that.
Sputtering.
That clinic, quick start, rough finish. Anyway, I don't know what to expect. I would think Wolf goes tonight.
That's the alternation.
It's
There's
the-
nothing Vidar did would suggest he gets 2 in a row
Yeah.
first.
And on the other side, they got embarrassed the other night. They had a
Ooh.
4-1 lead. We showed it on the show yesterday. 4-1 lead, and then in the final 5 minutes, gave up 3 to tie it, and then the overtime losing
And
goal.
who'd they give it up to?
The Sharks.
Sharks. That's what's embarrassing about it.
Yeah, first win of the season for the
Overly.
Sharks.
Yeah.
So, but maybe now they're out for redemption. Maybe
You have
we're-
2 teams coming off
we're better than
their
that.
worst losses of the year, I'd argue.
Fair enough. I don't think anyone's gonna debate.
That's why I think we have
Bang
a
on
competitive
it.
game tonight.
It's
It's not
right
here to
there.
debate you, Jerry.
It's on the
It's
sheet.
right there on the sheet.
It's on the sheet.
You're gonna want that true code.
He wrote it down.
That's right. Anything else
About this game?
about this matchup?
No, I gave you all the top 5 players.
Yeah,
so
you
you're
did.
Dialed in. We ready to
How
go?
do we feel about the uniforms? Are we all right? Because we did kind of.
Eh. It's year ones. They're going to hang on people's walls, and they say, I knew the team in year one, and it's going to be totally different next year. They're not bad, but yeah, I don't know that they have to keep everything the same. It's so good.
Here's a question for you.
Like Seattle, you're like, those are unique. That's awesome. You got something here.
But you'll get sick of those too. Because, hear me out.
Okay.
If the fisherman came back, Captain Highliner,
Mm.
would we like it?
That's a retro thing, yeah.
Right? You know what
Kinda
I
like
mean?
Blasty, yeah.
When it first came out, we hated it.
Same
Like
with-
sometimes
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just
it's very plain Jane though. The Utah HC.
yeah, they're buying themselves a year. I think it's what the Washington Football Club did in the NFL with the name before that
Sure,
was
yeah.
racist, and now the one that says Commanders.
They did do that one year, didn't they?
That's right. And so you sell a bunch of merch and you keep your color scheme or set your color scheme in this instance, and then you'll make some improvements and it'll be a little bit better next year. And you'll actually have a team name.
By the way, there's not enough maroon and gold out there.
It is a good
Raiders,
combo.
Saskatoon Raiders. Absolutely.
Florida Seminoles, no?
I don't care about the Seminoles.
Okay. Big Floridian.
All of a sudden, it looks better on the Commanders too. Now that they're not terrible.
That's
and
true.
And a new owner.
Doesn't own them anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of the creep up the top, and they're winning games. The good-looking color
Dan
combo.
Snyder,
Yeah.
Mr. Snyder.
Love that team.
Yeah, the cheerleaders are part of my entourage. Just here's a list. Call one up and go for a date.
I've told you guys that story where their kids are in the same grade at school or whatever, and the dad, they're having a play date or they're at something. It's whatever. Okay, Dan, good to meet you. That's Mr. Snyder. You, sir, are a D-bag.
Big
All
time
right.
D-bag. Legendary D-bag.
Yeah, legendary D-bag. And you know what? He learned his lesson. He took his $2 billion and
well, maybe he did learn his lesson. Didn't I? You just say something to me earlier today about franchise values?
Yeah,
it would be maybe almost double. And he only sold 2 years ago. It's crazy the franchise values in the NFL because revenues are just a $25 billion a year business. It's insane.
Well, it's like Rhett said before we started with how they're going up
inflation
exponentially.
And such,
It's because all the NHL clubs are now north of $1 billion.
That's the news today from Sportico.
How are we ever going to get a team? It'd be tough.
I know what
you got to think. We got to put a plan and we got to put a plan into action.
Well, and you're an idea guy, not a plan guy. So what you really need to do is just call Noodles because he knows everyone. He rubs shoulders with billionaires.
He's got friends.
This is the execution guy.
That's
he's got his tentacles into a lot of.
His Rolodex. He's probably got 5, 6.
Entrepreneur. He's very enterprising. It's just
he's a joint venture capitalist, is what that guy is.
Okay,
you got bad joints.
I know, and
you're
Colin Patterson was talking me.
Oh, good.
We did the thing on Monday, and we had
Patter?
to do a light jog, and apparently the cameraman said, "You're way faster than Warner."
Oh, dear.
And
so
I said, "Well,
Patter wasn't shit talking to the camera guy."
No, I wasn't there. Patter made a point of texting that to me, and then I said to Patter, "Well, I'm original parts. You just got a new."
That's right. So. Yeah, new and improved.
Maybe that's the issue.
Yeah,
maybe you should be bragging about new parts.
Time to go to the Insider Hotline. A presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, your crystal clear choice for all residential plumbing, heating, and cooling services. 23 years of experience, over 30,000 projects completed. They are the best of the best. The guardians of your home's mechanical heart. Ensure that your home is ready and safe for winter. Let Crystal Waters check out your plumbing and heating equipment. So that cold snap, and it's coming. It's coming. And Crystal Waters is here for you, barn burner folk. You need a new hot water heater, AC, or furnace. Discounts and upgrades up to $1,000 in value. Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call, 403-219-4100, or online, crystalclearcalgary.com.
I emailed them this morning.
Really?
You did?
I did. Lex, look at this guy. This guy could use some new parts.
Yes.
Really?
Parts. No, I mean, I'm fine. I last week I could have used a lot sitting there getting an IV, but I'm better now.
I was going to say, I wondered if you were going to be in a hospital bed, like in traction or something. Have one of those halos on or something.
Yeah. Talking through some little hole in the cast of your face. Yeah.
I'm all good. Yeah. I'm back to normal. It was a long week, and God, you spend 3 days in Vegas and you don't drink or you don't do anything. You barely leave your room. It's heartbreaking. Like it's a waste of 3 days.
It's a two-way street. We're also disappointed in you.
Yeah, I mean, the last night I probably could have got up to some nonsense, but I had to fly out early the next day, so I'm like, all right, forget it. So it had already passed me. I was so disappointed. And the other thing too, I don't know what pisses you off more. Now we're all attached to these things, these phones, right? I had a suite. They had upgraded me to a suite, which was very nice. I had no cell service inside the suite. What the heck? Are we in the third world? There was zero cell service. And the Wi-Fi was junky. And
no way.
What bothers me now when you're dealing with IT is the person couldn't have been more useless. So I go, well, I don't have Wi-Fi in my room. Well, what room are you in? I'm in 2702. Is that a corner room? Yeah, that's a corner room. Well, the Wi-Fi doesn't work very good there. I go, well, no.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling you for. what would you, well, is there a chance you can switch rooms closer to the elevator? And I go, so the Wi-Fi is in the elevator. Well, no, it's not in the elevator, but it's closer to the center. And I go, okay, so I didn't know. We're talking, it was like a who's on first conversation.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay, what hotel are you staying at? I'm like, isn't this IT for the Cosmopolitan? Well, we are IT for the MGM, the Cosmopolitan. I go, so you can't come and look at my room. No, we're not physically allowed to come and look at the room. It was a gong show. So anyways, for 3 days, people were trying to get a hold of me and you couldn't call. I had to go out on my deck to make phone calls.
Or the elevator. Yeah.
Or the elevator. But it was just.
Sorry, guys. I'm on a call here. Room floor 8? Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a gong show. Put it that way. It's a gong show. And I was very disappointed. Usually the Cosmo, I had my bachelor party there, whatever it was, 12 years ago. I had lots of fun. But they've gone downhill since then.
Well, you're not going to get a suite if you keep
statement this guy's
talking.
Yeah, I was going to say thanks to the Cosmo for the upgrade, and we'll see you again next year.
I don't want no damn
No,
upgrade.
where's the
I want
upgrade?
Wi-Fi.
I would have stayed in a dumpster if I had good cell service and good Wi-Fi.
Sign
I'm
of the
trying to
times.
watch hockey games and you're trying to dial in and you can't get it and it's cutting out and it was nonsense. I was very upset.
I think it sets you up with a dumpster and a monitor in one of the parking garages there. That'd be perfect.
Believe me, I've stayed in worse places in Vegas and some of my travels, or woken up in worse places, put it that way. So I'm not worried about the dumpster or any of that type of stuff, but I would like some cell service if that's possible.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the way it's designed. That they, you've got like the Epstein suite or something where you can't, signal doesn't come in or out. It's
okay.
They put
Cut
you in
his mic, Jack.
They put you in the creep.
Yeah, the creep suite.
Oh,
You go in and there's it's the GIMP and all of that from
That's right. Yeah,
from Pulp Fiction. No,
I'm sure it's not that, Jamie.
I would be running the other way. Exactly. So what's
So-
going on?
We'll move on. You cover the Ottawa Senators, and likes to fight guy Jordan
yeah.
Binnington was back at it again last night. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think you know what? I think part of it's an act because if you actually watched it, so he popped in there and just stuck his arm in on Brady, kind of going after a couple players. And then he goes to the bench. And as he's skating to the bench, he looks down at Allmark. Allmark had come out of his crease a little bit. He throws the arms up. Then he goes and sits at the bench and he's drinking water. And I swear to God, he's trying not to laugh. He's smiling. And I'm like, because he knows he's being a jackass and he knows they're losing. I think at the time it was 8-0 or 7-0. So they scored one late, on one of the worst giveaways you will ever see in your lifetime.
From who?
Balduke. God, it was the left-handed shot. I'll look it up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just
it was honest. If you get a chance, look at Adam Gaudette's second goal that he scored. He didn't even try. The guy literally tried to go a D to D or forward to D pass across the front of the crease. And Gaudette was standing there, and the guy just whiffed on it. It went onto Gaudette's stick, so he put it in the net. It was one of the worst. Like it was a Tuesday night at midnight. And give me a rink that you guys are skating at right now in Calgary.
Flames community.
Darcy Trail at some West Hills. It's midnight, and the guys had a bottle of wine with dinner with his wife, and he shows up and he's skating around and he makes a pass like that. It was nonsense.
It's a normal Bush special right there. That's what it is.
Yeah. So anyways, watching that, I mean, I thought Binnington was kind of he got thrown in. Joel Hofer had a really terrible start. And then Binnington, I think, allowed like the last 3. But it was one of those nights where I think, and they were even talking about the schedule. It sounds like St. Louis spent 2 or 3 nights in Montreal, and that city might have got the best of them. And they just took the train over to Ottawa and just got woodshedded last night. So,
It'll happen.
Good. What? Good. That's right. Just chalk it up to some team bonding.
Yep. It's like
got to get that done early.
Short-term pain,
yes.
long-term.
Yeah, but I mean, think of it though. You would hope if you are going to play guilty, you play hard, and the attention to detail is more. I mean, we've seen that in our careers where guilt might have been front and center. and you make sure that the bearing down factor is times 10, because the coach knows, the GM knows, everybody except for the fan base knows what's going on in that room. And to me, if they were playing guilty, they didn't do a very good job of it last night.
Yeah, 8-1 would suggest they didn't. Yeah.
Now, there's kind of the legendary story from the book that you put out, but how close were you to not getting to a morning skate or a practice in your years of tomfoolery?
So I can tell this story now that I'm retired and can't get in any trouble from anybody, I hope. But we played in LA. We had that LA Anaheim trip. I wasn't with Calgary at the time, so you can deduce the other 5 teams that I played for other than Calgary. But we had a late night, and we had to practice in Anaheim at 10 a.m. I'm lying. It was in LA, and we played that night. And I rarely go out the night before, but I ended up in the Hollywood Hills with some people and a couple actors and stuff. And all I remember is sitting at this guy's in the Hollywood Hills, sitting in a kitchen stall. So it was kind of, his kitchen had like a booth in it, almost like at a diner. Okay. And I was drinking Crown Royal out of the bottle.
Yep.
And it was 5:45 a.m. And our practice was at 10 a.m. morning skate. We had the early one because I think the home team was practicing at their practice rink. So I was taking a sip of Crown Royal, and the guy I was with goes, "We should go. We have practice in 4 hours or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, we're fine." And the guy's house, it was Suey from, that Swingers show, Swingers. It was his house. And
it was Vince Vaughn and Michael Favre or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. The guy, we ended up at his house after a late night, and I didn't know him, but we knew the actor Michael Vartan, who was in Never Been Kissed, and he was a huge hockey fan. And so we were all there, and I remember drinking Crown Royal, and my buddy who was on the team goes, "We better get going." And I said, "Yeah, you go. I'll just make it to practice." So he left, and then I somehow made it to practice, and I made it through practice. But I remember that afternoon, you wake up and I could still taste whiskey. Like I had whiskey on my breath. Like it was like not good. And luckily I wasn't starting, but unfortunately 10 minutes into the game, I made an appearance. And that was not good. That was not good because no amount of praying or anything can go like, please get this out of my system so I can see straight. But somehow,
did Turek get hurt, or
it wasn't in Calgary? It wasn't. I swear.
Just also get hurt. We won't know.
Yeah. It wasn't Calgary, but just taste like. I remember for the rest of my career was like I will not drink the night before a game, and I think we were down 4-0. I allowed the first shot. The goalie I was backing up allowed 3 in the first 7 minutes. Coach is yelling, "Get in there." You're painting yourself invisible going, just don't even look down in my direction. I get in there and I'm still kind of tasting it in that. I let in the first shot. And then somehow I think it's just with all the goodwill that I built up in my life. We ended up coming back and tying that game 4-4. So it was in an era where their ties were still available. But
it was 4-4. That's enough. We can find out now.
Yeah.
Well, he's looking it up.
I'm trying to cut to the chase.
Noodles game log.
Maybe it was 4-5-5 or something. I don't know. It was an ugly one.
That's easy enough. You came in relief and it was a tie.
I was playing for St. Louis.
The moral of the story is that you're a professional and you had to do what you had to do and you got the job done.
That's right.
I barely got the job done, and I swore to myself I would never do it again.
Doesn't matter about barely. If you're painting a fence, you paint the fence.
Yeah.
You got her done.
You either did the job or you didn't. It's binary, Noodles. You did
Somehow
the job.
we managed to get it done. I don't know how. So either way, it was you don't do those things when you're in Carolina or whatever. This happened it was
did Luongo have the stomach flu or
no, that wasn't. Remember Dan Saber? I was talking about that yesterday. Do you remember when Louis had the runs in the playoffs versus Anaheim?
Yeah.
All I remember, if you can go back, you look at Dave Nonus's face when Danny Sabrin skates out for overtime.
They were flamed, Danny Sabrin.
They pan the luxury box, and Dave Nonus has just soiled himself going, what is going on here? My rock star, the captain of my team, my rock star is Harry Dunn right now on the toilet. And Danny Sabrin's making saves. And I don't know what game that was, but that might have ended the series, I think. It was ugly. And Sabrin played for like 8 or 9 minutes because there was no whistles. And Getzlaf and Perry, it was like a shooting gallery.
Like, don't ice it, don't go offside, changes on the fly. We got to keep this guy in net.
God bless Danny Sabrin, because I swear to God, he made a bunch of saves. And then out of the bathroom came Louis, and out of the tunnel in Anaheim, and skated down. But I'll never forget the look on Dave Nonus's face. Like, I don't know who, I'm sure CBC did the game, but I can't remember who the broadcaster was. Like, would you look at Dave Nonus, the surprise, like he's calling down going, what's going on here? Because it was ugly, but I was glad they didn't score on Sabrin. That would have been tough.
Is that when they used the forklift to basically bash the door open, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, that might have been somebody. I just
you might be the guy. You might be the guy to do it. I've always wanted somebody to write a book about shit stories in professional sports. Like I had to go here, or something happened. He shit himself in the huddle, or had it running down. Everybody loves a good shit story, Noodles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that many. I think that the one thing I do remember was Louis had a tough lunch or whatever. That's all it was, and he had admitted it afterwards. Was said that couldn't keep it together. I mean, that's tough. I don't know. We've all had this.
He famously tweeted just the toilet icon on his Twitter, and I don't know if like Strombone one at the time was a sample whether he was outed as Luongo yet or not, but he was a riot. I honestly think Noodles, he became popular because he was always honest, but I think he was sort of misunderstood. And then he got on Twitter, and people were like, oh, he's funny. He's doing a lot of stuff in jest. We never got it. Now it all makes sense.
When I played with him in 06, I would tell people he's one of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Yeah. And
now Kipper is too. If you know Mika, like Mika is very dry and sarcastic, right? So the funny thing is I would tell people all the time, like, Luongo's hilarious. And they're like, no, he was very cut and dry, very serious, very quiet, very introverted until you got to know him. And then the Twitter thing happened.
Yeah.
And he only had, at the time, early on, about 50 followers. And the Strombone one, I remember that was his like screen name on his email or something for his fantasy football. So I saw it come across, like his brother Leo started following me, and then I saw who Leo was following, and I saw Strombone one. So I pressed on it, and I was like his 51st follower.
Yeah.
And immediately I got a text from him going, how did you find me? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, I know your screen name. And he goes, don't tell anybody that's me. And I said, no worries. And then I don't know if you remember, Kevin Bieksa outed him on Twitter.
Classic.
And said, that's Roberto Luongo. And it blew up immediately. And you're right. I think by the end of Roberto's career, he was more popular and more beloved because of his Twitter, because of how he embraced you remember he allowed 8 goals in Detroit the one night, and he called himself Luongo, and the O was like a goal light.
The G was an 8. Yeah, the G was an 8. That's what it was.
Yeah, like it was an 8, right? Like, it was funny stuff like that where you would get that from him behind the scenes, but now he was putting it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And, to this day, he's so funny. Like, we don't talk all the time, but our interactions are quite funny. And, I was proud. I was happy for him. They won a cup and got to see him. And I was bugging him. I'm like, I didn't get the invite to the cup party. Usually my buddies will invite me to the cup party. And I got feathers from Greg Campbell, who's a good friend of mine, who's their AGM. And I got feathers from Louis, which I would have assumed, being former teammates of these guys playing for Florida, I would have been invited to the cup party, and I didn't get invited. It was maybe it's more an indictment on me.
Well, you're rubbing people the wrong way, Noodles. You gotta.
I'm getting crustier the older I get. That's what it is.
Is that what it is? Because that was always a big thing. You and Luongo, guys, you were like a
Batman and Robin.
Buddy cop.
We were like Hall and Oates. Yes,
That's
we
right.
were. Like we were, I guess I would be John Oates. He'd be Daryl Hall. Because John Oates is the kind of stubby guy. I would have drawn a mustache,
That's right.
play the guitar. Daryl Hall could sing.
Or if it was Wham, he would be,
He's George Michael, and I don't even know the name of
the
the
other
other
guy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's the name of the
Wayne
other
Gretzky
guy?
and his brother. What's his name?
Yeah,
you
the
do
other-
the-
Andy something or whatever.
What is the name of the other guy in Wham?
Nobody knows the other guy in Wham ever.
Don't Google it. You got to keep it that way.
What a great music bingo trivia.
I could
at
probably
the
find it
bar.
if I sit here and focus, because he did have one song that came out. He tried the solo thing. It's like,
No,
I
he
guess
didn't.
Someone very
The
good.
Wham guy tried to solo.
I think
Don't
outside
test
of
him
the-
on this. He's hosted 90s radio like in
Yeah.
small markets forever. This
Yeah.
is his wheelhouse.
Hey, listen, wake me up before you go. Those just aren't sitting around, you can't just pick
Listen,
that up.
the guy's living off of residual checks, no problem. But I'm saying he never, nobody would know his name outside of his inner circle.
Anyone texting in that knows it?
Jack, Andrew Ridgely, that's what it is.
There it
Yeah,
is.
never heard
They
that name
Googled
before
it.
in my life.
Oh, for sure
They
yeah.
Googled it. the
Yeah, I may
texters.
not have gotten it.
Or they're the biggest Wham fans of all time, but most likely a Google. Yeah.
Yeah, but even if you're the
Noodles.
biggest Wham fan, you still don't know his name. You're just like that other guy.
Yeah. Tough news coming out of Edmonton this morning. Oilers say it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks for McDavid. They didn't handle the first game very well, as they got
shellacked.
woodshedded, as you
Yeah.
said, by the Blue Jackets. Now they have Nashville and Calgary before they return home. But it's not been a great start for them to begin with. They're about 500. But they have not had to have life without McDavid for a long time or very often at all. What do you see there? Does Draisaitl step up? Is it deer in the headlights? How do you expect the Oilers to respond?
To be honest, maybe I'm wrong. I think this is good for them because if you look at their games, and I've watched every one of their games, their top players have played terrible, including Connor McDavid. And I'm saying relative terms. Connor had the 2 goals, and there's been nights where he's had some flashes. But that team, right from the drop of the puck this year, has looked disinterested. They look like they showed up and expected, hey, we're going back to the final because we made it there last year. I don't know if it's entitlement, if there's something there, but to a man, and I'm saying they're top players. Arvidsson's been their best player. He's been noticeable every night, and he's hard to play against. He's tenacious. Draisaitl's had pockets. Zach Hyman's had 28 shots on goal.
Zero.
He's all around it. But last year, those shots, 5-hole and stuff were going in. So far, he's snake bitten. RNH is still stuck in second gear. Darnell Nurse is stuck in second gear. He's been terrible. Ekholm and Bouchard as a pairing have not been good. And I would say Ekholm. It's easy to go look at Bouchard because Bouchard's a casual player. So when he's casual and plays bad, it's even worse because you're like, this guy's not trying or he doesn't care. Ekholm is the guy who kind of stabilizes things. He's not at the top of his game. And then the goalie's not making saves. So how many, literally, I've talked about the whole spine of their team. You're not going, geez, Derek Ryan's a problem or Corey Perry. They're actually not. They've actually played decent, and they have shown some stuff that they've had some jam. It's the top of their roster and their best players who've not played well. So now, last year at the start of the season, I remember the outdoor game against Edmonton, against Calgary. Edmonton showed up and won that game, but they never still dug out it after a while after that.
Mm-hmm.
And McDavid was hurt through that whole process. So he might as well not been playing. To me, I think this team has to find a better identity away from Connor McDavid. And what I mean by that is they can't be as loosey-goosey defensively. If you're going to try and win 3-2 and see if you can do it. Their power play has been abysmal, and that's something that is shocking for me with the amount of talent on it. And you take McDavid off it, they still have talent. They're just going to have to simplify. And that means they don't have to just run and gun and wheel it and go, hey, let's find the open option and take it. You might have to go, hey, one pass shot, jam away for a rebound, play some straight line hockey. But it's an opportunity for some guys to kind of right the ship. And that starts in goal, and it starts with their 3 best defensemen, and it starts with the top 4 players of the roster outside of McDavid having some consistency to the game. So it's a lazy narrative to go, oh, no, McDavid, they got no chance. They're a good team without McDavid, but they got to start playing like it because they haven't.
Yeah. Interestingly, I thought in Philly, that was their first win of the year. It was a couple fights. It was Perry and Stetcher that fought, and that got them. Like, they just don't seem invested.
They're not.
And it's one of the things that happens when you have so many guys over 30. There's no young guys that are just horny and excited to be there. Like, there's a lot of guys that are saying, we're not going to be measured by what happens in this regular season. Like, it's how do I get worked up for 82 dress rehearsals when we're only going to be measured by our playoffs?
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
And veteran teams have that type of like, hey, we're not going to get too high, not going to get too low. The problem that I see, and we're seeing it throughout the league, and I know we're 10 games in, is there's going to be 2 or 3 bottom feeders. Teams will end up at the bottom, but I see everyone pushing up. The teams that, like, Chicago's better on paper this year. They're going to get more points than they did last year just by playing the games. San Jose, yes, San Jose's got 2 in a row. They probably should have had better results earlier in the season, but San Jose, I think, is going to be a bottom feeder. Everybody else has gotten better or is trying to get better. So what you're doing is you're going to shrink that middle into who has a better season, who surprises, because Seattle looks decent now, Utah looks good, like, and Vancouver will get it together, like, Calgary's right there. Hey, Calgary's in a retool situation. Well, they got some young guys that are pushing. They got a goalie that looks really good and some veteran guys that have started really nicely, and Huberdeau and Kadri and guys like that. So all of a sudden, the teams that we thought were going to be long gone, what if they hang around and start taking points off of you? Because that's what I'm seeing. The Atlantic Division, take a look at that alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like Montreal got rinsed last night. They might have a drop-off. Everybody else in that division is trying to make the playoffs legitimately and has a chance. Buffalo's come back on now recently. So to me, Edmonton, if you're 500 or you get to above 500 or just hang around there, that's fine as a veteran team. But now you got to do it without 97 for 2 to 3 weeks. So that's easier said than done. And, let's see you prove it. Yes, you got Draisaitl, who at times arguably could be the second best player on the planet when he's really invested in digging in and playing with some piss and vinegar. I think you're right. The team is older, they're veteran, but they know how to play. So maybe it's time for them to play. But I look at the standings. You can't really mess around and go, hey, you know what, we'll get it together because last year we won 16 in a row, so we can do that again this year. To me, that's a loser's narrative. I don't like that.
And I'm not sure if you would have something similar, but Rhett has told the story in Buffalo when playoffs, Hasek not there, not playing, and just the holy crap that goes through the dressing room. It's one thing for a team to lose their best player, but to lose one of the best players in the world, such a difference maker, and you guys handled it okay. But not to rehash the story again, but what's the
one-off? And it was different too because it was playoffs, and we didn't suspect to miss them for long, and we were playing well going into it. Do you know what? As a team, I don't think
is this when he choked the reporter out
afterwards when they questioned what he was doing. We went to the Rink Noodles in Toronto for morning skate game 1 semifinals, and I'm like, where's the goalie?
The reason we're here, that guy?
The only guy, like, if you look at the 99 Buffalo Sabres lineup, there's one player and it's Hasek.
Yeah.
And Jim Piscitelli is like, he went back to Buffalo.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what? The only thing I can think of in recent memory, and taking a slight shot at myself, is when Kipper and Roman were hurt that year in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at it, our team, and then I broke my sternum, but I was still playing. But the guys knew, and the guys know. When the guys know it's not Mika back there, like, people, you play differently, you react differently, and the guys knew I was battling. So I felt it. There was no words spoken, certainly not in front of me. Maybe at the back of a plane, or there might have been conversations outside of me not being around. It's like, guys, like, we can't lose a lot of ground here with Mika out for 6 weeks. So to a man, I felt the team played different. We gave up less chances. Guys blocked shots. There was an attention to detail that I noticed, and it helped my game so that I could actually play and play every night where I wasn't used to that. And to me, it almost kind of banded us together, going, hey, you can't give up 3 breakaways and expect me to stop them. You could with Mika. And so we played differently. So on a personal level, I've noticed it a few times in my career when the guy I was backing up had injuries. I noticed it in St. Louis when Fierzy got hurt. I had to go in for a 10-game stretch, and the team just played differently. It wasn't I didn't take it as a slight. It's just on my best day.
It's a positive in regards to your personality, and that's part of it. If you were a dick, trust me, we weren't going to do it. Well,
but the thing is too, is the team realizes where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. So it's for Edmonton, McDavid's strength is driving play. It's scaring the opponent in certain situations. On the power play, it's freewheeling. So Nashville's going to go at them tomorrow. You got to find a different way. You got to, Draisaitl is a driver. I think RNH can be a driver, but he hasn't been driving it. Like he's been more of a passenger. And to me, with guys like that, when you've got to find a way to push through. So same thing. I've seen these scenarios throughout the history of time. Sometimes it galvanizes a group or maybe gets you out of a funk.
Honestly, I think the best comp is when we've seen Crosby miss large swaths, and it's always like, oh my gosh, look at Evgeny Malkin's points per game when Crosby's gone. Like, how is he better without him? But it's a challenge to Leon Draisaitl. And honestly, the game against Nashville, I think it'll be a great watch because those are two very desperate teams. The Oilers are trying to prove it's more than just McDavid, and an 0-5 start for Nashville. They're not out of that hole yet. That should be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, but there's lots of. It's funny. There's lots of games you circle even early on, and you're going, geez, I like watching that. I was in Utah the other day. I like that team. I think that team's really fast.
See them tonight here. Yeah.
I think that'll be a good game tonight. Like, Calgary, you don't want to continue. You get such a nice start. You don't want to take the shine off of it. So you got to really push hard. And with Utah, I don't know. I heard you guys before I came on, like, it's like on the Washington football team, the Utah Hockey Club. I like Utah's jerseys. I do.
Color scheme's nice.
I like the color scheme. I just like that they're a hockey club. Is the Yeti going to change? Is that going to move the needle?
I'm going to get that too. The Yeti.
He's jacked about these.
I'm so mad at the Washington Commanders because I like the Washington Football Club because I liked. It was almost like a giant middle finger. It's like, okay, you don't like what we've been called for our whole existence, so we're just going to be called nothing, and we're going to be called a football team. And to me, and they were good. I liked their jerseys. I liked everything. The Commanders, I hate that name. I'm sorry, I hate that name. And to me, what is going to happen? It's going to be the Utah Yeti, and I would prefer the Utah Hockey Club.
Final one for me in Utah tonight. Michael Backlund will play game number 1,000 of his career. Did you overlap at all, or would you have been in the minors when you were around? I feel like
Michael was around when I was
coaching.
Yeah, with Daryl in my first year out and stuff, drafted. The coolest thing that I've seen is watching him become an amazing leader, a husband, a father, all of these things, like where I remember this kid, this 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid. And now when I see him, it's like, okay, now I'm old because that's an old NHL player. And he's like a class guy. And just like Michael Backlund does it right. And there was a time early in his career, I wasn't sure if if the light was going to go on and he was going to achieve what we all have seen the last, whatever it is, 13 years. Because he's been that amazing. And the best part about it is he's a better human. Like, he's an unbelievable guy. Like, I always liked him and stuff, but just hearing stories and how he conducts himself, it probably doesn't hurt playing with Jerome McGinley and Mark Giordano and leaders in that room, Rhett and guys like that. Like, to me, that have helped, shape their fabric. And, they've carried on that legacy. And I think Michael's done a really good job carrying on a tough legacy, big shoes to fill when it comes to Gio and Iggy. Those are quality humans, and Michael's really carried that on.
What's up for the week? We see you're at home, so
home today. I fly to New York late tomorrow night because I've got the Rangers Friday.
All right.
I want you to make up for Vegas. You go to New York, you have yourself a time.
Please do.
I shouldn't I?
I think you should.
You owe it to yourself. You owe it to us. You owe it to everybody.
There's this little spot in New York City in the Village called Johnny's Bar. If you Google it, it's in the Village. It's just a small, tiny little place called Johnny's Bar. They've got a great jukebox. They've got specialty drinks. And the last time I was in there, I sat with Lenny Kravitz. He was just sitting there by himself, just hanging out.
And then you
I
came
didn't
and
even know
sat
who he
down.
was. I'm like, that's Lenny Kravitz.
Now
You
you're homeless.
creeped him. Why would you creep Lenny?
I didn't creep
Lenny
him.
if he wants to go hang out and play the jukebox by himself, he doesn't need some skid goalie.
Listen, he was happy to talk to me because I didn't fanboy.
You're so wasted. You thought Lenny Kravitz wanted to talk to you. Shame on you.
I didn't fanboy him.
You
And the
did.
thing is, he was in the way to the jukebox, and that's where I wanted to take over. I plugged a bunch of money in.
Are you going to go my way?
So now
I'm
you
gonna
bumped
say,
him,
I'm gonna go my
so
way.
now you bumped him out of there. Guy wants to.
I did not put any Lenny Kravitz on. I put that song, Josie's on a vacation. What's that?
The outfield.
Outfield.
The Outfield. I put that song on. He was loving it.
Hey, Lenny, do you think rock and roll is dead?
And I didn't sit and bother him. Said hello. We just happened to be sitting in the same vicinity. And I was a creep there by myself too. So there you go.
You know what? That's a good.
Lenny was sitting there going, I think that's it.
Is that Mika's backup?
Yeah, didn't that guy play for the Rangers for 5 games?
Is it that Mike?
Appreciate you, Noodles. Have a great week.
Guys. Have a good one.
There you
Chat
go.
later.
Jamie McLennan, the one and only, on the Insider Hotline, a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. Whether you're a home builder looking for high-volume professional mechanical subcontractors, a homeowner, you need installations, replacements, repairs, maintenance, that's you. Property manager, real estate owner, Crystal Waters. It's the only name you need to know. You see it right there. Your crystal clear choice for home comfort and all your, whatever it is. It's the like they say, it's the mechanical heart of your home.
It's the S that you don't know how to deal with.
Yeah. Because this thing here, I don't really know what that does.
Yeah. And it's usually the S that when it stops working,
Ooh.
it's not, I'll get to it on the weekend. Maybe I've got some time. No. Right now.
Honey, there's frost on the windows.
403-219-4100, online, crystalclearcalgary.com. The Village is cool, though.
I gotta go back to New York. It's been too long.
Yeah. The first time you go to New York, you do all the touristy stuff. Hey, Times Square, look at this. Oh, wow. Look, it's
Avoid that like the plague.
Then you go back second or third time. I don't need to even see Times Square. Can we not go there? You don't go north of whatever. There's the Garment District, and then there's the Village and Soho. It's cool spots.
I love New York City.
And pizza.
When I retire, I'm going to live there 1 month a year.
Is he not retired yet? Does he call this work?
Retire from.
I thought this was a hobby.
I knew 4 of the Utah hockey clubs.
You did, yeah.
I can't retire yet then.
You got that kind of information.
Yeah.
Could I do it from there?
Sure.
I guess I did it from Buffalo. Why
Maybe.
not NYC?
Couldn't have a worse dumpier
How
set than
old
when
do you
had
gotta?
Buffalo.
How old do the kids got to be before you can just?
I was going to say, you know what? That's the retirement I think you're talking about.
Yes.
Is once the kids are out, then you're retired.
What NCAA hockey programs do they have in the New York City area? Get your kid on a full ride there, and then you got a
There's
great excuse to get an
lots.
apartment. So there you go.
There's lots.
Yeah.
Cornell?
Very expensive.
Oh, full
They
ride.
get full rides, probably.
Everyone gets rides, and then you find out, yeah,
These aren't
it's
full
12% of.
Yeah.
That guy got a ride. 7% of tuition.
We'll get to the Pinder Report. Checked in with the Calgary Flames.
You did?
They're in Utah.
Oh, they're okay. They got back to you.
They're in there. They were having a morning skate Just looking for impressions of the rink. It's sounds like it's better than the Mullet Arena.
No question.
Whoa. I take umbrage with
Do
this
you?
comment. Whose opinion is that? And what's the clarification? Why is it better? I enjoyed my time at the Moulin.
You certainly did. It's 100 times better. Great setup in the locker rooms. Atmosphere should be great. And here's a look. They even
Shut up.
look at that.
Oh.
There's the one end with the abbreviated seats, I
Yeah,
suppose.
both
That's a
ends
big
have
jumbo.
that. Yeah, both ends have that.
Yeah. So again, not ideal.
They played in
What do they say,
Brooklyn with the same
11,000?
circumstance.
Who cares? Looks like
Unimpeded view 11. I think probably 13, 14.
Yeah. So history tonight. Backlund's 1,000 and the Calgary Flames play in Salt Lake City for the first time in the National Hockey League.
fun. I never thought it would happen.
Used to be their farm team. That's where they called up
Used to be.
Theo Fleury from, Utah. 89.
And Paul Cruz.
There you go.
Paul Cruz, too. And the guy that runs that hotel in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. That's your buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of forgot his name. CTE.
Yeah, it happens.
You can name more Utah Grizzlies than you can HCs. It's impressive.
It is. Square. If you run a restaurant, you're too busy for this ad. You're thinking about how to get more orders flowing, new locations opening. You need more customers and keep them coming back. Really, you're already thinking about Square because Square Restaurant Tech helps more than 400,000 restaurants do all of those things and more. So when you're thinking about your restaurant, think bigger and think Square. Maximize sales by making it easy to process orders. Maybe it's in-house with a kiosk or a mobile POS for tableside orders and online ordering for takeout and delivery. That's Square. Go to squareup.com to see why Square is big in restaurants.
I'm going to get Square to sell some of my top 5 merchandise.
Imagine if you went to a restaurant now. It's like paying by card. Yeah, okay. I'll go get the machine. They come back with one of those things where they put the card in the paper on top. Rick Rock.
What are you doing here?
He doesn't even know
Click,
what you're
clack.
talking about.
Do you know what I'm
Jack doesn't
talking
know.
about, Jack? You pay with your credit card and they get the machine and then
It's
put
like
the little
3
paper
layers of
for it. So
paper.
they set the card in there and then put the paper on top and then Rick Rack.
Yeah, so you know one thing I hate about going to Montana? When I pay with a credit card, they
They make
take
you
your
sign.
card and then then they give you paper and you gotta write the tip in. It's way too
make you
difficult.
sign.
Like, why
Yeah,
can't I
they
just
need
tap?
Square
Why
down
can't
there.
I just tap?
1600s here?
And
Come
then sometimes if you go to Nashville, like you opening a tab, you just give them your card. You don't know
Yeah.
if you'll ever see it again.
And you go back the next
Yeah,
day.
here, just take this one.
You got to have
I
a
love
lot of
my-
cards in Nashville
Right.
because you leave them at every bar. You got to have a tab in every
You got
bar.
you need like that old wallet where you'd open it, you have just a whole sleeve of them that would fall down.
I famously tracked down my credit card in Nashville one night.
Yeah.
I was the day after I tracked it down, and I was like, he's like, yeah, come to the office with me. And I'm like, I'm really embarrassed. I'm sorry. He's like, buddy, do you know how often this happens?
Yeah.
And he literally sifted through what looked like 6 decks of
17.
cards of all the.
Yeah.
He's like, what color is it?
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
that's not. It took 20 minutes to find the card.
Yeah.
There was that many idiots.
It's
left
a
their
little
cards on.
unnerving though, because you had your card over, and then they just turn and walk away.
Remember?
See you later. Okay. I'll just go sit back down.
Hi.
You'll bring me the drinks and maybe the card later. I'll be all right. But they're very good. It's not their first rodeo. They know what they're doing there. Everything will work out great. US money though.
Does add up quick.
Yeah.
I think the dollar's falling too.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's not been a great run.
Well, wait till next week.
You're wishing it was this week.
Next week might be dicey for everyone involved.
I guess so. Let's do the
I just hope
Pinder Report.
everyone's armed enough. Make sure everyone's well armed.
They're
Report
Americans.
time?
They should be.
Yeah, it's true.
Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall, online at villagehonda.com. They have the new stretch lease. I think it's till like the end of the month. I'm sure you could probably sweet talk Anthony.
Hustle.
More flexibility, more payment options. Explore Honda's new 28-month stretch lease. It's available at Village Honda, applicable to the new CRV, HRV, and Civic vehicles. Offer ends soon.
Stretch.
I saw Anthony in a social media kind of post. Looked like he was doing kind of a fancy kind of a Halloween thing.
Oh,
You know, where they're all dressed up and then
The
they wear like
makeup,
just like
the
we're gonna
masks.
ooh, one of those fancy parties.
That's right.
Careful.
Very fancy. Careful.
Eyes
Scary.
wide shut.
Yee.
Pinder.
Yeah, Pinder Report.
Well, it's Calgary Flames game day, Dino, and there it is. Game number 1,000 for Michael Backlund. An incredible achievement for, as a guy Noodles alluded to, there was many years we wondered how it would go and what he kind of a role he would carve out in this league or perhaps another. So expect a lot of Backlund on the broadcast tonight. And again, come Friday when they return home. And of course, then the club will honor him in front of the Sea of Red. That'll be Friday night. Lots of Backlund content.
He's just muttering and
I'm gonna take a cheap shot.
You take
Keep
a shot, Backlund. Lots on FlamesNation.ca. If you are interested in it, you can head to the website and find a ton of articles on the captain set to play game number 1,000. Here's one cool note. Joey Kenward, he becomes the third alumni of the Rockets to hit 1,000 within the last 2 weeks, joining Luke Shen and Tyler Myers. Wow. Okay, it gets even cooler, though. Hang on. So here's
That is not a
Justin Bourne.
It's not what?
Sorry, go.
Justin Bourne, his old man's Bobby Bourne, Saskatoon Blade, right?
Yep.
Come on now. Fun fact, same billet family from Kelowna, Shen, Backlund, Shea Weber. And Shea Weber, not 1,000, but the Hall of Fame. Barry and Ingrid, Hall of Fame builders. And it gets better. Also, turns out, Tyler Myers as well. That's a serious, that's the greatest billet family of all time. Rhett, three players with 1,000 games in a Hall of Famer.
That's impressive. Wonder if they're getting any kickbacks.
What were their names again? Let's go back
Maybe
to that
they're
first one.
putting steroids.
Ingrid.
And
What's in Ingrid's
Hello,
muffins?
Barry.
Hey?
Banana bread berry.
What's in Ingrid's pies?
Settle.
Get these guys
Saddle.
launched for 1,000-game careers.
Ryan,
Let's take a look at the Utahs. We're
can I
gonna
take a shot at him?
Michael.
To be a,
Just wait till we're done. I'll say the nice things, then you can take a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Let's move to the Utes here. Shall you know what? Okay, stay on Backlund. Stay on Backlund.
Is
Stay on
today the day you want to do it? Day of his 1,000th game?
all right, I'll shut up.
All right.
Backlund. So here it is. 999 games thus far. 202 goals. 334 assists. 536 points. So barely over half point a game. A plus 63 is quite impressive over that run. When you think about the
Stupid stat, I
caliber.
thought.
It's a stupid stat. Caliber of the teams he was on, not great. 461 PIMs, 36 game-winning goals. 7 coaches he played for.
A lot of coaches.
7. I actually think there's 8 too. So I think there's a mistake. Pike said 7. Huska, Darryl, Jeff Ward, Peters, Gulletson, Hartley, Keenan, and Brett.
Yeah.
So that would be 8 of the 19.
Yeah,
5 of the 9 GMs in franchise history.
9.
Can you name the 5 GMs?
that he played for?
Yeah,
Darryl.
backwards. Darryl.
The guy from Tampa Bay that beat us. I don't
Feaster,
know.
yeah.
Feaster.
Interim guy from Feaster,
Treliving.
Treliving, Burke,
Yeah.
Conra. He's actually
Top 5.
been around for a lot of the franchise's history. Like when you think about
Name
when he
the
was
top
drafted.
5 GMs that Michael Backlund has played for in Calgary.
He was incredibly injury plagued and inconsistent early on. In the last 5 seasons, plus the first 9 games of this season, he's missed 2 games
Durable.
total. In the last 9 seasons, plus the first 9 games, this year,
9 times.
he's missed
Man.
8 games. So in nearly a decade,
I don't have an
8 games missed. That was the thing that might have been the longest shot of it all. Not to become a player, not to do this or that or achieve that. That this guy who was so injury plagued and had a tough time staying healthy into his mid-20s would become one of the most durable players over a decade.
I remember Boone just taking runs at him for a bad pinky.
Right.
Had a broken this. I think he broke his hand.
He was
the
hurt
summer-
all the time.
There was a
was
stretch
what?
where
Painful. It was
abdominal
like, oh my
stuff,
God.
obliques, broken hand the year he
Bad
was supposed to center Ginlet camp. It was a run of bad luck that's been followed by an incredible run of good health and durability.
like a lot of times, I think for players, usually they move on and they get with a fresh franchise. But it just, you get to that point where, okay, you were a first round pick. Well,
It's the Sam Bennett spot,
it's
right?
out the window.
Yeah.
Once
it was
it,
out there for a while.
it was out there
Yes.
for quite a while,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we started working about 10 years ago together, and that was the point where it was like, he's going to get out of here or he's going to have to figure it out.
Yeah,
And I remember us having epic debates in the old studio because he was that polarizing of a guy and the pedigree and the draft stock was very high and the results weren't there yet.
Yeah, and one of the keys to that is making sure you don't play too many playoff games. So that's a big part of.
See, there's the shot.
Is that in there?
He would have played
It's
a
on
lot.
his notepad. There.
How many playoff games? I didn't get playoff games. I can find that for you.
Weird.
It's 42.
42.
Weird how I know that, eh?
Kind of. Is that the thing
'Cause I
shot
just
you were
looked
going to
it
take
up.
at him that you elected
That's
not
my
to?
shot. Yeah.
Well, it's nice that you wouldn't do that today on his 1,000th.
Red, how many playoff games did you play?
More than 42.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't know why.
I'm telling you, to be a captain here, maybe that's the thing.
More shots.
That was a Geo shot too.
Yeah. It's a lot of shots here.
I'm glad you held back. Ryan, back to
What
you.
did I say?
Nothing. Just trotting out numbers. We know you
Yeah,
love numbers.
Yeah, I'm trying to support. the
He's
Pinder
earned
Report.
Selke votes in 7 of the last 8 seasons, and he is trailing only Jerome McGinley in games played for the Calgary Flames. Jerome's at 12-19. Geo, he passed last year, was at 949. Robin Regier, 826. Al McInnes, 803. Theo Fleury, 791.
Their playoff games.
Geos were much less.
It's awkward.
It really is. I don't, yeah.
Oh, can we
Yeah.
not have some fun?
Wow.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Eh.
Meh.
Uh,
Fred.
what's the feather in the cap for you for where he was and where he's gotten to?
Well, I don't think it's a feather in the cap. I think it's it's 1,000 games. He's done them all here, and he's a captain of a franchise. He's been through the thick of the and for better or for worse, the fact that he's played for 5 GMs and 8 coaches in
Yeah.
that amount of time.
He's seen
That's
some shit.
not, like that's BS. If you're a player, that's not what you're hoping for.
Yeah,
I'm bugging you about the playoffs. Is it Backlund's fault,
No,
or is it the
he's not
GMs
the
and
GM.
coaches and all the other shit that's gone along with it?
it's the perseverance for sure.
Yeah.
Because there was some rough, there was the injuries, the lack of production, the everything that he took in the media. And he signed multiple contracts. There was opportunities for him to leave or to not want to stay, but he stuck around. And like you say, we talk about it how many times over the last few years. You go on Backlund's line, you play better, you perform better. Backlund in a way has made some guys some money.
He's been the fixer.
Right? You just put him there. Yeah, you're going to defensive. You're up against the other team's top lines, but it's not as though the offense disappears. There's a lot of guys that really flourished with Backlund.
Backlund, Frolik, and Kachuk was one of the
Yes.
best lines in the NHL for
He
come
graduated
And then
Manjapani
Frolik.
as well.
Yeah.
Kachuk, Frolik, a lot of good guys. A lot of guys made money playing next to him. And tonight, 1,101 Friday, he'll be honored. Pretty cool. Also, as Noodles alluded to, the work in the community is above and beyond. He won the King Clancy a few years ago for, that.
Yeah.
And that's certainly a lot of people in Calgary understand that. The city means a lot to him. It's not just a place where he does his job. He lives here. He's raising his family here. Deep roots.
Not
For
sure who
someone
the
born
next
in Sweden.
Yeah, not sure who the next captain will be, but like from Iggy to Geo to him, it's the community because Giordano did a ton in the community. Backlund does now.
Yeah.
He's paving the way, showing what it means to be a captain.
And I'll say this: they had no captain that one year. It was a shit show. That was the year that the room fell apart. I'm not here to say
God.
he's the greatest captain here or there, but I'll tell you what, it's a group that's come to the rink and worked since he got that. And I think Koska comes in as coach at the same time. He deserves a lot of credit as well, but this is not a group that looks divided like it did in the last year under Darryl.
I don't think. Well, whatever.
Let's move on.
That's me not saying anything.
The Utahs.
You know what you do? You say, Ryan, back to you.
Back to you, Ron.
There they are. Keller, Cooley, and Gunther, their top line. Michelli, Hayton, and Schmaltz, Kraus, Bugstad, Kerfoot. It's a good young hockey club, albeit maybe not a lot of world beaters yet in there. The blue line looks weak because they're missing some pretty important parts. They added Mikhail Sergachev in trade out of Tampa for J.J. Moser. Michael Kesselring has been thrust into the top line duties, but he's questionable for tonight. Ian Cole, Maverick Lamoureux, and watch this one, Vladislav Kolyachonok and Robert Bertuzzo. They're missing John Marino, who they added in trade from the Devils, and Sean Dursey,
Sean Dursey.
who was very good on the power play for them last year. Valimaki also in the mix there. We'll see if Mata makes his debut tonight or not. It'll be a tight turn if he did. They added him a trade yesterday for a third rounder. There's the trade. It's a third rounder. That's actually the Rangers going to Detroit. And Ole Mata, the guy that was tied to the Flames in the Jankowski and Seeloff draft.
Kind of, yeah.
Because it was in that neighborhood.
Yeah, never really tied. We tied it.
Well, because you're like, you could have had this guy,
Yeah.
but he never really got above that sort of dependable 4-5-6.
It was kind of like Brandon Gorley was attached to the Calgary Flames.
Noah Dobson.
That was the pick that they gave up for Ole Jokinen.
Yeah. Dobson for Hamonic.
Yeah.
Oof. There's a few of those.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Mata makes his debut tonight. NHL. Well, hang on. So great start for Utah, right? A lot of enthusiasm, playing for a real owner and a real rink with real fans. They get real meals on the road. They actually pay their bills.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
Wow, we're into the first world. Is that kind of dying off a little? Because it kind of looked like,
Oh, you mean this 1-3-1 slide that they're on? Or
I mean, it's
1-4-2 or whatever it is. Yeah.
I got money on them to make the playoffs, but it's been a reality check of sorts here since the injuries on the blue line are a big part of
Those
it.
Scooby-Doo masks were always good. You never knew what was under there.
Yeah. Is
Did
it giving
you-
you some inspiration for tomorrow?
Was it Halloween or did you have Scooby-Doo mask parties or what are you talking
Oh,
about?
yeah, lots of key parties.
Yeah.
I don't know who's under there. This is like the
I'll go upstairs, but I
give me
feel
that
like I'd like to
Scooby-Doo
take
mask.
a look underneath that just to make sure. This mask is so good. I have
Oh,
no
dear.
idea.
Why is we're naked wearing the thing on his head again? We all know that's right.
You've got a tattoo.
it's the
I've had
dog
too
thing.
many Scooby snacks.
It's happened to everyone. Valuations from Sportico dropped today. Here's Frank Seravalli. Frank Baum. All 32 franchises now worth over $1 billion for
That's
the
a
first
B,
time
folks.
ever. Now, these are estimates. Again, Sportico is not the NHL. The NHL does not say, hey, here's what we think you're worth. But this is what Sportico does. They estimate revenue, strength of brand, and there's all 32. It's an impressive list. Number 1, Toronto. They check in at a gaudy $3.7 billion nearly. Whew.
Guaranteed they get more.
Yeah, I think they probably want. They're actually
If you for sure.
Rogers just took over MLSE, so the valuation of the rink, the Raptors, the Leafs, and I think probably
this
some other
is
was
only
almost $9 billion.
interesting to you.
Okay, back to you naming the Utah HC. Top 5 elsewhere would see New York, Montreal, Chicago, and LA are in the mix there. That's 6, but those are 5 of your top 6.
So.
Flames estimated, by the way, at 1.5, which is it's a lot of money.
We should have bought him. 100 million. We could have had a team.
Yeah.
Back when you had
That would have been a
Not
good
100
investment
million.
for us. We talked about it.
It was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely pursued it. Went down that road.
NDAs and
Yeah.
OCDs and
Yeah.
LCD,
Gonna stop.
LSD,
oh,
OCD,
I might go get some of that actually.
CTE.
Starting to
MDMA.
worry- Starting to worry about my head.
McDavid is worried about his foot. Here's the
Hoof?
time frame. 2 to 3 weeks is what's expected. This was the first tweet about it from Elliot
Look at
Friedman. It's
Elliot.
gotten a little more specific.
Positive
since.
spin. Good news. It's not good news if you're an Oiler fan. Come on.
Yeah, it's not worst case scenario, but it certainly isn't best. There was some thought yesterday floating around. It'll be a game or two.
Yeah.
So it's kind of middle ground, week to week, not day to day, but also not month to month. And it will be an interesting watch to see if they rally around this or circle the bowl. A lot of guys not playing to what they should be at this point, including their goaltender, and that makes life tough. 7-something save percentage.
It's the Oilers. So.
This is the Oilers. Matt Rempe fought last night.
Better
Calgary
soon.
boy. Let's take a look.
Knows how to fight and did fight is reaffirming that something odd about a guy being that big, not
I was texting Rosie last night because I sent him the fight, and Jay Rosell obviously did a bit of this in his career. Maybe he's just a guy that's huge and will say yes to everyone, but he's never going to be the best fighter.
yeah,
Because technically,
Yeah.
how do you take shots when you're that huge? You should
Yeah.
just be able to hold a guy off and land what you want
Well,
on
don't-
your terms.
Yeah. Don't fight guys with especially long arms.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get out of here. It is the Devils and the Canucks tonight, which means one thing. It's a Hughes party. There's the
Poor
meme
Quinn.
of Luke and Jack having all the fun and Quinn having to watch from What's the name of that burger place in SpongeBob SquarePants? Or yeah, is that
Krabby
Squidward's
Shack.
house? Yeah,
It's not the Krabby
is
Shack.
it Squidward's house? What's his name? I don't know that show well enough.
It's a Krabby Patty. What is it, Jack?
Jack, get us in the
This is
loop
where
here
we
on
know
this
he's-
SpongeBob.
No, I don't. I know it's the
Oh.
Krabby Patty. I don't know what's the restaurant called.
It's
Because
the
that's
Krabby
Mr.
Shack.
Krabs. It's not the
It's Crab Shack.
It's Krabby Shack.
Someone in the comments must
Is
know.
it the
I don't know.
foam and the shave? What
As soon as it comes in, Jack, you break into the program and let us know.
Yeah, that's right. I got an Oliver Shillington update for you. It's not been a positive start to the year as well, he's going to be playing forward tonight for the Avalanche.
Oh,
And
he's a good skater.
he's a great skater. He's always been a great skater. And so just to recap the situation, in his time of need, the Calgary Flames are right by his side. He spurned them to take less money. He's played 2 games all year and is now suiting up at forward because they're so banged up in the forward ranks with injuries. Drouin out. Ross Colton added to the injury list. Landeskog and Nichushkin missing. Others as well.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Not been great in Colorado. You want it to work if you're Oliver, but God, you would have been on the ice every single game this year on a third pair with Braden Pahal if you stayed here, bud. It's the
made the
Jake Bean
yeah.
hole. That was your job. You said no. They went and put Jake Bean there.
He made the decision.
He did.
I want to be supportive, but
It didn't make sense to me at the time, and it's making less sense now because I thought at least he'd get a regular shift there. He hasn't. 2
Yeah.
games. All right. ESPN and TNT have the broadcast rights in the States. One of them is a great product, and the other's got far too much Messier and far too much Subban. This clip explains it all. Could you have, I'm way too much guy, and how could I be this boring guy put together and it'll make a good show, right? Wrong. Look at this.
Messi is like, just kill me. Please come in
And
here.
Subban's like, does this guy have a personality? Did he lose it in trade?
Does
Was it
anyone in
removed?
the control room have a hammer? Please come in here and hit me with it.
That's the show. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's not great.
TNT's awesome. You got Biz and you got Wayne.
one of these things is
Well, that's the thing about Biz. It's, Biz works.
Biz, they're
he's
good.
he's a talented guy. Not everybody can
Biz can read the room,
be likable and funny and
have interesting stories.
yeah, something like that.
relate with people.
As one man once said a few days ago, hey, you were banging one of the most famous celebrities on earth. Do you have a single story that would entertain us
Any
today?
stories?
Why are you so boring?
You were with Madonna. Is there any?
Any anecdotes?
Okay.
You didn't have any fun?
She was a nice person.
Well, we got to
Really,
get pucks deep. And as you see here, that's the responsibility of the defenseman. Okay. Cut him another $500,000. That was awesome. Thanks, Mess.
Yeah.
Any underarm products you want to hawk or anything right now?
Okay.
Jeez. Games tonight. Let's take a peek. We saw the Hughes Bowl. There's some other ones. Tampa, Colorado. Usually fun. Both teams, bit of a different group this year. And what else have we got? Kings. Vegas is interesting. too.
Twitter,
Top
follow it
three.
on Twitter. They're always taking shots at each other, aren't they?
Is that right?
Kings and Twitter.
Yes,
the
that's right. The
Twitter
Kings and
accounts?
the Golden
Yeah.
Knights were a huge rivalry.
Yeah.
Big time. Big time, big time. Last night, Wranglers, big W. They've
Oh,
won 8 in a
Did you
row.
go? You said you were going.
You said you were
I
going.
had one kid that was so poorly behaved. I literally had to carry him into timeout. He passed out, melting down, woke up 2 hours later. I'm like, I can't reward this kid. All I needed was one day of good behavior.
Why don't you put your kid to bed at night?
I did
Let him
again. Yeah.
stay
No,
up?
he
Like,
had to
well,
be.
Why do you have a 2-hour nap during? What's
He was
going on?
terrible. He's
Something's
timed
wrong.
himself out. Meltdown.
Come on. You know, gonna
It's
have
a
to come
complete
over.
disregard for
an
authority
analysis.
and a lack of respect for his
That's right,
elders.
yeah.
Don't know where he gets it. Clark Bishop on one of the great heaters here. This is my gold. Game winner,
How's
game
Clark
winner, game
Bishop?
winner. Last 5.5 minutes, last 90 seconds, last 2.5 minutes. Clark Bishop, checkmate. See what he did there.
it's terrible.
First place in the American League.
Gould shot at me, and that's the kind of garbage you're running.
That's right.
Devin Cooley, sensational again, and 2 goals for Matt Coronado. Stick that in your
That's
tuchus.
right.
Yeah,
Conroy.
get
Yeah.
me out of here,
Get
Coronado.
me back up. Anthony Mather didn't do that. Anthony Manson scored the big 2 goals in.
Anthony Manson ain't gonna go.
Do we have any? Speaking of Twitter, any Coronado agent Twitter updates?
Yeah, I just got it right here.
Just-
Anthony Manson. Actually, we got a new thing for the Pinder Report. This is again by
Yes,
request because
exciting.
Rhett's been asking for more things in the Pinder Report. And
Absolutely.
Dean, we finally got you on side.
Yeah.
Big Hippo will not be held down any longer.
No, hey.
No, not at all. What was the video that you were saying? Did you see that video of the hippo?
Yeah.
What was it doing?
I was swimming. It was got into the water and then was chasing a boat.
Let's see if we found it. I got a few submissions. This has got to be it, right? Here we go.
How big he is.
He's a monster.
He's
He
like,
moves
all right,
well
you
in
know
there.
what? I'm done. Look at
Oh, he's like, you think I'm fat? I'm built for this. I am good in water. So that's got to be the video, right?
That's not the video.
That's not it. Well, okay, we got
it's
another.
a good one,
we gotta
but
find
it's
another
not.
one. Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Let's
exactly.
go to the next hippo chasing boat video.
The
then.
one that
Hippo
I.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Look at him.
Let me tell you something. That man is. He knows exactly what speed a hippo moves at, and that hippo is moving, boys.
Don't run out of gas.
Oh, don't ever run out of gas.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Those bastards at Evinrude are going to have a lawsuit on their hands if this thing cuts out.
It'd be great. Just the motor falls off the back of the boat.
Oh, shit. Let me show you something. Let me tell you something.
That's it.
No, was that it or was there another one?
No, it was not.
Okay,
it.
we got to
Yeah.
go to the next one. All
I
right.
think there's more. There's still more.
Oh, hijinks on the Pinder Report. I don't know. I don't see any hippos here. Must be safe, guys.
It's very ominous, though. It feels
It's dark, sun setting.
like something's going to happen. I mean, a hippo's not going to sneak up on you because they're so.
They're so big. How could they sneak
Yeah,
up on
they're
you
going to
guys?
sneak up on you. How's that going?
Oh, God. Look at that.
What is this? Oh, a little romantic time.
Oh.
Doing some skinny dipping.
Oh, now look at that guy. He's going under. I can account for the other 3. Where'd Underwater Boy go? Oh, get out of here! Hippo! Look at him.
Jeez.
They got this move. It's kind of like watching your
It's a
dog in
breaststroke.
shallow water. It's like
Oh,
bounce
and
off the bottom,
Like it's not like they got big
porpoising.
club feet. How are they swimming?
Yeah.
It's not like they have web feet or anything.
No, but they're very impressive.
You know
in the
what?
water.
Surprising cardio.
Yeah, that's
Right?
further than I would have imagined.
Yeah, and as
Look at it. It's
They'll come.
amazing.
we found out yesterday, Big Hippo is trying to suppress all this as well.
Yeah.
Actually, quite rapid on land, 30 miles an hour. We're told they can.
I'm telling you.
Now watch this: two bull hippos.
Oh boy.
These are men. Must have been a hot babe running around or something. Look at that thing! Jeez. And these fellows don't get along. Like, well, I saw Lucy first.
don't
Well, I've
feel
known
safe
Lucy for
in
a while.
behind
Well,
this.
Lucy and I, we swim together.
Dinner is over.
Now watch. Here's a defense move they get when they get really upset. They take a dump and they whirl their tail, and it just flings
Oh,
shit everywhere. Watch.
Oh my
for
God.
it. Oh my God. Watch the tree when they get going here. It's like shaking. Fellas.
tug of war.
Maybe Lucy can go
It's
on
like
2
a
dates.
demolition derby.
Yes.
It's like two Honda Civics.
Bigger. There it is. He's doing the poo, swing your tail thing.
Oh,
Just spread it
Oh.
everywhere.
fertilizer.
Yes. It's my territory. Deal with it.
Okay. Did you hear Jack laugh?
Yeah.
It's really good. Hey, Jack, got you there? Hey, got you with the poop windmill? Is that what he got you
That
with?
was good. Yeah.
Poop windmill.
Yeah.
It's
That's
market
good.
territory.
Yeah.
Those are all things you got to learn when you're growing up as a baby hippo.
Yeah.
Like Moo Dang, the celebrity hippo baby.
Which I don't understand, but
he's
he's
very
everywhere.
popular. And
Do you know Moo Dang?
he's so popular, all the crooks in the crypto industry are starting like coins based on his likeness, which obviously he's
This little hippo resists the zookeeper's touch and bites down on the zookeeper's knee. Moo Dang is a playful little hippo who loves to bounce around. It often keeps its mouth open, and it must have a lot of fun every day before it can fall asleep. Even when it is asleep, it still twitches its limbs. It really enjoys playing with water and takes a bath every morning. Its slippery body makes it prone to slipping. For its safety, the zookeeper sometimes restricts its movements, which makes Mudang very angry, and it turns its back on the zookeeper. At this point, the zookeeper will give its rear a light pat.
Yeah, you do.
Mudang, annoyed by the disturbance, will jump up in anger, and later bite the zookeeper's knee in secret. After releasing its frustration, Mudang will then willingly approach the zookeeper again. Its cuteness and liveliness have earned it a large following, and this superstar even has its own blush endorsement. The name Mudang actually translates to elastic pork. Do you like this stretchy little hippo?
Listen,
Like that hippo?
I prefer it to
The
snakes and spiders.
Okay.
I think so. We got.
I really do.
That's the end of hippo hijinks, Jack. Game number 1,000. So if you're out tonight, pour yourself a good Swedish beer like Guinness, for example, or Harp or something. Let's see what this is. Here we go. It's for the Pinder Report.
I was not expecting that.
No.
That's your Wednesday version, Dean.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God.
brought to you by Village Honda.
Not expecting and totally unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary.
What?
I cut one out the other day.
Oh,
Over 90 units on site of pre-owned vehicles, 500 more inside the dealership group. You go in, it's we're a family of X and we need this kind of thing. And we don't really see anything. Well, let's take a look within the Wood Automotive Group. We have hundreds of pre-owned vehicles to choose from. It's why they are your dealership for life. Village Honda, located in Northwest Automall, online, villagehonda.com.
elastic.
How did you
pork.
feel about the now the Mudang? It maybe went on a little long.
hippo hijinks?
Little long.
What about the other?
The hippo hijinks I enjoyed. It was
you
a
go.
nice change. I think you got to bring some awareness
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
dangers of the hippo.
Yeah, it's about safety.
Yeah. So I was okay with it, and then it just completely unraveled.
I do want to thank all the Barneys for their submissions of
no,
hippo hijinks in the last 24 hours. We couldn't do it without you.
They're also showing up in my feed. So yes,
know who
thank
you
you,
Thank you so much.
Barneys, for sure, for all of that. Speaking of interacting with viewers, listeners, fans of the show, can't be
Yeah.
fans. What do you call them? Tomorrow on the show, we will do the Great Clips inbox. For Great Clips, you can send in your emails, your questions, your thoughts. The email address, greatclipsinbox@flamesnation.ca. Maybe there's a video you want to send in. Maybe you're going to, do a little stuff. Hey, I'm Bill Terwilliger, and I love hippos, man. If there's something you need,
Yeah, sure.
but make sure it's better than that because we'll never air that. But just get a hold of us. That's tomorrow on the program. Great Clips inbox @flamesnation.ca.
Yeah, if you have any elastic pork questions, we'd be happy to.
Yeah, whatever you
answer
got.
those.
Yeah, we can get to it. Also wanted to say, I guess, congratulations, but also thank you to Jason Weeb. Going back to last week, Jason Weeb
Weebsy.
won the auction that we had. The tickets to the Flames game on November 1st, donated by ATB Financial.
I do a Donald.
Jason won the auction.
No, Brian Weeb.
All the money going to go to Closer to Home and the Adopt a Family Christmas campaign. So there it is.
Away, Jason.
25 of them with their food vouchers are going to be off to the Dome.
I'll trade you a malt for 2 beverages.
Yeah, it's for whatever you want to do,
I'm
right?
taking the malt.
No rules. You can do whatever you want now. We will have another one coming up. ATB Financial again, John Winwick. November 21st, the New York Rangers in town.
It's a holiday.
The Ranger?
The Ranger,
That's a big match.
They go Islanders, Rangers back to back at home. You're seeing that on the road.
Shesterkin, Zibanejad,
Yeah.
soft serve.
Panarin,
Rempe.
Rempe, Trouba,
Yeah.
that jerk.
Little homecoming for him, eh?
Yeah.
So we will have that one going up within a week or so.
Cool.
So Jack, if you were thinking of going to the Rangers,
Yeah,
game,
you want
just to
14
give you a
tickets.
heads up, maybe this might be something you'd be interested in.
Headbutt is what he needs.
Yeah. A headbutt.
What do you got in your paper? Yours is less colored as old Pinder.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Tail is almost time.
The song is Hold Us Around.
I don't know.
Beauty and the Beast.
Let's go. Are you going to go with the hippo hijinks like for a while?
Tomorrow's
now?
Halloween, so I think we did the hippo hijinks. It's probably done, right, Jack? Can't be any more hippo videos.
I can't believe, you know what? You're putting a lot of pressure on a poor Jack and RJ for your BS. Right? They're doing production for all
that's
this.
exactly why they've been hired.
Goodness.
Pressure of my BS.
And you think of the things that maybe
I asked
from a show perspective that we could build graphics for.
Mhm. How long do you think that took?
Front of the line.
Things that we may want to be on
Hippo
top of.
hijinks.
I said to RJ at about 9 something this morning, I want it to look very janky and it has to have something hippo-y. That was it. He's delivered.
That's actually, it's not as janky as it probably should be then. Because they actually, it's
I think in his
it's a
world,
cute
he's
little
like,
hippo.
look at this. The resolution's too low. Ha 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 ha, janky.
Yeah.
And no one notices. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't in 4K quality.
Oh, loser.
Aroused. BeAroused.ca. It's the Mod Medical Clinic. 2024 is almost over. You go into 2025. That means for most of us, we're getting older.
Okay.
It's a tale as old as time, I've been told.
That's all right.
Optimize your sexual function. Medical therapies to optimize your life in the bedroom and in the bathroom. Are you getting up through the night? You having to go to the washroom all the time? You don't need to be doing that. And every time there's bedroom time, are you popping a blue pill? You don't need to be doing that. It's ViaSure. Works on muscle function, breaks down scar tissue, reforms blood vessels in the penis. No pain, no downtime, covered under extended health benefits. Combined with pelvic floor physiotherapy. Are you working on your pelvic floor there?
I'm going to have to because
How's the
this
floor?
chair is terrible.
These chairs aren't super comfy for sure. Pelvic floor physiotherapy combined with ViaSure and the Aroused team going to help men with incontinence, sexual performance, hip, lower back pain, assist the stabilization of the core to optimize mobility. It's more than just the bedroom. It's life. It's as men grow older and you don't take care of things maybe the way you should. There's a lot of negative side effects that start to crop up.
Get that pelvic flare back.
That's right. Still not a very good setup over here. The website is bearoused.ca, and this is just a little bit of what they do.
Right.
If you're a man, you're aging, there's things going on, you need to contact the Mod Medical Clinic. Bearoused.ca. Have an assessment, a consultation, as we remove the taboo about sexual health with men. It begins here. Speaking openly about things because knowledge is power.
That's why I don't use pen and paper.
That's right.
Let's get the knowledge up
is
top.
power.
Working the
Let's
brain.
get it right next to the CTE, right? Neighboring compartments.
Battle through that.
A lot of compartments up there.
Woo.
Did you like that?
I think he does more than once.
Well, he can if it can be.
That's how I remember it.
We'll do the Bet365 for our buddies, oddly enough, at Bet365. They are the world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account with Bet365 today. Use that promo code there. You see it on the screen, Nation. Download the app, which is awesome. Use that promo code. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Five.
That's a big day.
It is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Game number 1K. Why not jump on? Michael Backlund, anytime goal score, plus 350. Can he make it goal number 203 in game number 1000?
203.
Also, I do like this Rasmus Anderson to get a point, a measly old single point.
Sure, absolutely.
Even money, and he's what, a point per game-ish right now?
He's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the point, yeah. Those are my bets today.
I like it.
I was going to ask Noodles if anyone else in the world was following the Anderson stare. Not anyone else in the world.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like outside of our little clicky Flames.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of interest about the player being available in trade, which I don't think the Flames are there yet. But yeah, the stare, I wonder, is the stare gone viral?
Because I like it.
A lot of people asking about Rasmus, the
Yeah.
player, but not the stare. I want more questions about the stare.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to have to keep scoring.
Yeah, well, good. Go
That's
ahead.
the
And
thing. You don't really get the stare.
Yeah.
When the other team scores on you and then you stare at their fans,
That's
it's
not
not as
gonna work.
impressive
Not
or
gonna work.
imposing for sure.
Be easy to find a hockey club fan tonight. So go ahead and
Should
score.
be, yeah. Bet365, world's largest sports betting platform. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday night football.
Halloween.
Let's go.
That's going to interrupt the football.
Yeah.
It depends what time. Was it 6:15
I
kickoff?
can go
or-
in my basement.
yeah.
and just shut the
Yeah, that's
lights
going
off.
to be.
You could have what? Go in the basement and
Lights are off. Nobody's
oh,
home.
come on now. What are we doing for are you all prepped? Have you got all the goodies purchased?
I got an idiot kid that thinks he's going to have a Halloween party. Now, what the hell does that mean?
That means look out.
Really?
Can we have a Halloween party at our house? Are we bobbing for apples? What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
I think many of us fondly recall our first Halloween parties as we were coming of age.
Whoa. Jesus.
It's always right.
What is going
Tough
on?
day.
He is off a little today. How long was your
Holy
plunge today?
cow.
10 minutes?
You need some
Did you freeze?
pelvic floor, some core.
Sorry, this table's terrible.
Well, don't. Who leans on the table? You got a chair? You could just sit
this
up. Come on
chair is
now.
terrible. You know what? This setup is the
You're right.
You know what?
Tear it down.
Back to the
I'm
Back to
out.
Buffalo.
Piano Go Center in Medicine Hat. Dude, that was a
Yeah.
good setup. You had the pizza and everything.
The big marble.
Back to Buffalo. Thoughts, I guess, as we wrap on the game tonight.
Hopefully a better effort and result.
Yes.
They played 3 really, really good teams in a row here that they aren't able to stack up with in the same neighborhood skill-wise when you think about Vegas and Winnipeg and Carolina. Tonight, it's a team that's missing a couple defensemen, and that is in their neighborhood. And I think both the hockey club and the Flames, coming off efforts they wish were a little bit better, I think we get a good game.
I think it will be a good game. Samantha, like, what are you going to do if you don't get some improvement from some of your guys?
Yeah,
What's
that's
the message there.
That's kind of the inner. There's, oh, can they win? Get a couple points, and then it's all right. If you are just going to sleepwalk through another 60 minutes, what happens?
Hey, Tony, Coronado had 2 yet last night.
Yeah.
Let's get her going here.
And I'm sure that the coaches on both sides will have made it very clear that their most recent effort was not going to be sufficient moving forward.
Mhm.
Just a guess. Think Huska gets mad? What would that look like? A Huska tantrum?
No, a tantrum. I feel like he's Mr. Composure, but he'd make you feel bad you've disappointed him.
Yeah.
He's got some principal vibes.
I'm going to have
Think
to
so?
do some digging on that.
Or is it just silent?
Oh, the silence.
You're out. What, coach?
Not up to our standard.
Talk to Savvy or Trent Cull. Just talk to me.
How's that least power play going?
That's right.
Since
I don't
Richard
know.
Hart's
That they're-
finally got
Not
a
sure.
nice pile of clay to work with.
Not sure how that's going. Are we dressing up?
We're talking about
Because
Halloween.
I hate it.
It's Halloween. What do you do on Halloween?
Get dressed up
Obviously.
in a fancy
Yeah.
outfit.
Mhm.
Act like a dumbass.
Yep.
It's right up my
Jack, what about you? What?
Yes.
I kind of already did the dress up thing. Do I got to do it again?
Now, I saw some pictures that Jack had sent in of some of his pals and what they were wearing. Did I get one of you? Know that I don't know your costume is. They had a nice Nacho Libre at the showing at the party.
Yeah, that
Always
was
good.
awesome.
You dressed up already? You had one on the weekend?
Yeah, we did the Halloween parties already because you can't do it
After.
after Halloween.
Now that
Yeah.
you say Nacho Libre, sorry to interrupt this hard hitting stuff. I wonder if that mask is still in that suit bag.
Go get it and put it on tomorrow. Top shelf.
Yeah,
That
my
would be
guess is it
helpful.
be.
Huh?
I thought you were going to say still in that truck that you sold
Yeah, it was a different
12 years ago.
That's the pig mask.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the Scooby Doo masks tomorrow for the show.
Maybe.
Yeah. Got a closet full of those. Well, I mean, Jack, maybe you can, wring the scotch out of that costume you had and bring her on in.
All right. Are we all doing like? I feel like
100%.
Oh, it's Halloween.
Talking about our
No, it's, we'll come in and then they'll come in.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I'm always here first. I'll be here.
He's
Well, it's because you live a block away.
It's true.
And
It
you don't
works
have to
well.
park or
yeah, you're the
drive.
only one that doesn't have to travel.
Congrats.
So I only got a break.
I was always first in my studio
The one with the camera that gets in it?
until until some asshat moved back. It's
Good to have
Got a
that
good thing
asset
going.
Back
Yeah.
to Buffalo.
Move back to Buffalo.
Yeah,
Be
he's
just
done with
better
this
for
shit.
everybody. Okay, that's it.
We gotta do Rhett's top 5.
Oh,
Oh, we already
no,
did
Rhett's
it.
top
What are
five.
you talking
No,
about?
this is
Top
not
5 Utah
top
HCs.
five.
Top 5.
No, we're boycotting top
I'm
5.
not doing a top. You can't make me do top 5. It's my top.
Hanging up the headphones.
Host.
All right, Rhett. Have a good day, buddy. Yeah.